Okay, good afternoon. Thank you. Please be seated.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will call Trooper Amanda Johnson. Trooper Johnson, if you could remain standing and raise your right hand, thank you. Do you swear today that the testimony you're about to give is the truth under penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. Can you please state and spell your full name for the record?
I'm Detective Amanda Johnson. Last name is spelled Johnsson.
And where or how are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a detective with the New Hampshire State Police.
And with the New Hampshire State Police, are you assigned to any particular troop, barracks, or section?
Yes, I'm in the major crime unit.
Okay, what is the major crime unit?
Our primary job is to investigate homicides. We handle all officer-involved shootings throughout the state, as well as conflict cases that may arise that other agencies can't investigate.
So if there's a problem with the agency investigating, say, one of their own, you would maybe take that case?
Yes.
Okay. So in this instance, as a person in the major crime unit, what is your role specifically inside of investigations?
I primarily do crime scene investigation.
And what does that mean?
I respond to the crime scenes and process them for evidence.
And do you have any kind of specialized training that allows you to do this type of job?
I attended the National Forensics Academy back in 2023, 10-week program investigating or helping to investigate forensics and things of that nature.
And how long have you been working with the New Hampshire State Police?
I just started my 18th year this past August.
And for how long have you been specifically working on crime scene investigations?
I've been in the major crime unit since 2019.
Now, I want to draw your attention to February the 29th of 2024. Did there come a time that you became involved in an investigation into a homicide by shooting that had occurred at 1063 or 1063 Main Street in Berlin, New Hampshire?
Yes, I did. I believe that was an early morning call out.
Okay. Do you recall what time of day you received the call?
I think it was around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. When you say you received the call, were you working at the time?
No, I was off duty sleeping.
Okay. Can you describe for us how that call occurred?
I was called by Lieutenant John Sonia and advised that they had a homicide in the town of Berlin. He requested that I respond to the scene with the crime truck.
And when you say, were you assigned to a specific role for that crime scene?
That particular call, I was the officer in charge as well as the evidence technician, and I believe I took video that day.
Okay, and when you say you were the officer in charge, that sounds fancy. What does that mean?
It's just more paperwork. Basically, I delve out. We all kind of split the tasks, the required tasks, and at the end, it's just I'm compiling all of the reports basically into one report.
And you said that you were asked to respond out with the crime scene truck.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what that is?
We have 2 crime scene trucks. They're basically mobile offices that hold our supplies and equipment.
And when you received that call to respond out to Berlin, what information was provided to you about what you were walking into?
I knew that the suspect was at large, and they were primarily focusing on locating him as well as children.
Was that part of your responsibility with respect to this case?
No, I brought the truck to the scene where I stayed for a while they finished investigative aspects of the case and finally did receive a court-authorized search warrant.
Okay. So you spent some time waiting while other steps were taken before you were able to get into the house?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about your crime scene work. When you talk about working on a crime scene, can you describe for us sort of the methods or the steps that you use when you're documenting crime scenes?
Yes, like I said, we have various tasks that we have to complete there. We use a 3D scanner called a Faro that Faros the scene in 3D. One of us takes a GoPro video and walks around the crime scene with the video. One person's assigned to photographs. Another person's assigned to cataloging and documenting evidence that we collect. And it's, when we finally get in there, it's slow going because we essentially process the scene in layers. We take what's visible without disturbing anything, and then we start, peeling back the layers and documenting it as we go.
So when you initially arrive at a scene, you take it as it is, correct?
Yes,
You take photographs and videos of that?
correct.
Okay. And then you said you started removing a layer.
Yes.
And when you remove each layer, what, if anything, do you do in terms of documentation?
So we photograph along as we search, when we move things and when we, search through things. Like, for instance, if you opened a drawer, we would take a photo and search the contents of the drawer and then take another photo. So just things are done in layers.
Okay. So when you take photographs, are you just taking a photograph sort of the overall space, or are there different layers even of the photographs that you take?
Yeah, so overalls, far away and then mid-range and then close up is typically how we do the photographs.
Okay. Are photographs taken in terms of when you arrive at a scene that has a person or a victim inside of it? Do you take photographs with the victim there as well as with them removed from the scene?
Yes, we take photographs as we come to the scene and how we find the scene and the body.
You indicated that some troopers or officers are tasked with locating evidence. Are photographs taken of that evidence as well?
Yes, we work as a team. We decide what we're going to collect, and as we go, we photograph and document what we're collecting.
Why so many photographs?
You can never take too many photographs. I've only experienced situations where you wish you would have taken more, so I tell everyone to, take as many as you think you should and then go further and take more.
Do you document every scene that you respond to in the same manner?
Yes.
Was the crime scene at 1063 Main Street documented in this way by video, photograph, and Faro?
Yes.
Were photographs taken with Ms. Naffziger's body present?
Yes.
And were photographs taken when her body was removed?
Yes.
Now, I want to show you and place up on the screen State's Exhibit 3A, which is in evidence. It would help if I turn on this device. And I may need to ask you to step down if you're unable to see it, and I do apologize because you may spend quite some time hanging out over here by this screen, if that's all right with the court.
Yes, so long as the jury can hear and so long as we have appropriate audio and so long as it doesn't obstruct defendants at all, certainly.
So if I can ask you to step down, it might be easier if you stand close to Mr. Schweitzer. And then the court finish, may I?
Please.
Just in case. Now, Trooper Johnson, is this the location, State's Exhibit 3A, which is on the screen, of 1603 Main Street?
Yes.
I'm sorry, 1063 Main Street.
Yes.
And is this the location where you responded with the crime scene truck?
Yes.
Can you describe what this building is for us?
This building is a apartment building. I was advised by the Berlin Police Department that there were 4 units total in that building.
By the time that you arrived on scene, had that dwelling already been cleared by the Berlin Police Department?
Yes, it had.
I'm not sure why the screen is flashing. It may have something to do with some interference we're receiving, but hopefully it'll stay on. So you indicated that it was a multi-unit dwelling, correct?
Yes.
Okay. With respect to the investigation that you were working, the call that you were there for, what areas of this building were of interest to you?
We were authorized to search Mr. Duren's apartment, which was the lower level apartment, the first floor.
I'm going to stop for a second. Just because it doesn't seem to be cutting out on any of the monitors, just that monitor. So maybe it's just a loose connection. I just didn't know if there's anything we can do.
You're getting some feedback on this, Your Honor, so I'm not certain if something is going wrong.
That seems to have worked. Thank you.
Fingers crossed. All right, so you started to say, and I apologize, you started to say that you were authorized to search certain locations in this building. What were those locations?
Mr. Duren's apartment, which is the lower first level of the building.
Did you also conduct any searches in the garage bay?
Yes, we did.
Speaking about that garage bay, can you see that on the screen?
Most of it, yes.
Okay. Was there a garage bay that you learned was assigned to that first floor apartment?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a car located in that garage bay?
No.
Were there any cars inside of any of the garage bays when you were on scene?
Yes, there were other tenants that had vehicles there.
Were those cars checked?
I recall that one tenant needed to get to her vehicle, so we escorted her to get the car, and we just performed a quick search by consent just to make sure we weren't missing anything.
Okay. In terms of the garage space, were any items of evidentiary value or recovered from that location?
Not that I recall, no.
Now, did you take video of the exterior of this building?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you explain for us how you did that?
Utilizing a GoPro camera, I walked around outside and then walked inside slowly, just getting all the rooms in that apartment.
And when you do that, you're just holding the GoPro camera in your hand,
Yes.
right? And are you talking, narrating? What can we expect that we would hear?
No, no talking.
Now, prior to this hearing, did you review, I should have actually stated a review. Did you review some exhibits prior to coming in to testify?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you take a look at State's Exhibit 7A?
Yes, I did.
Is that a video clip that you took of the exterior of the building?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also review State's Exhibit 7B?
Yes.
Is that a clip of a video that you took from the interior of the building?
Yes.
At this time, the state would ask to have the ID struck and the pieces full. No objection.
The ID, excuse me, the ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibits 7A and 7B, and they may be considered as full exhibits.
Now, I'm going to move off of State's Exhibit 3A. On the screen now should be State's Exhibit 7A. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Permission to publish State 7A.
Yes.
And where this clip ends, what are we looking at?
That is the door, the entryway to a common area for the apartments. The white door.
And it goes into all of the apartments in this building, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there another entrance that just goes to apartment on the first floor?
Yes.
Where is that located?
Around the front of the house by the street.
Next, showing you State's Exhibit 3C, which is in evidence, just so that we can transition over. Is this the same photograph or a photograph that shows the back of that house?
Yes.
Okay. And that white door at the back, is that the one you've indicated goes to a common area?
Yes.
Now, for the ease of this, Trooper Johnson, if I could ask you to step over towards me just really quickly. I can ask you to take a look through State's Exhibits 8A through action as they're not, I think we have an agreement that they're coming into evidence, Your Honor. As you're doing this, Trooper Johnson, do you recognize what you're looking at?
Yes.
Can you tell us what they are?
Photographs of the apartment as well as the evidence that we collected.
Do those photographs, as you look at them, fairly and accurately show the apartment as you observed it when you responded there?
Yes, it does.
Okay, if I can ask you to step back over. If you need a break or any water, just let me know. I'm making you stand up quite a bit. Now, with respect to, and Your Honor, at this time, the state would ask to strike the ID as to State's Exhibits 8A through 8T and admit them into evidence. No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to 8A through 8T inclusive, and they may be considered full exhibits.
Trooper Johnson, I'm just showing you State's Exhibit 8A, and this is just a close-up of the rear door to 1063 Main Street that we've just seen.
Yes,
And in this image, the door is ajar.
yes,
Okay, was it open like that when you responded?
yes.
Where does this door lead again?
To a small common area utilized by all the tenants to access their apartments.
Moving into State's Exhibit 8B, what are we looking at here?
That straight-ahead door is where the scene was.
And the straight-ahead door is the door to where?
Duren's apartment,
Okay, to the defendant, Mr. Duren's apartment?
yes.
You can go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna give you a break for just a second. You had indicated when you first began testifying that you had not immediately just jumped right in. You'd had to wait for quite some time.
Correct.
Okay. And why were you waiting?
Like I said, we were waiting for the investigators to try to figure out where the suspect was and locate the children, and then that shifted gears to writing a search warrant for the apartment.
Okay. Were you also waiting for somebody from the medical examiner's office?
Yes,
Did someone from the medical examiner's office arrive on scene?
yes.
What, if anything, occurred once that happened?
When the medical examiner arrived on scene, she, under her authority, we entered the apartment to examine the body that was located in the living room.
And did you enter into the apartment to do that?
Yes,
Were you present personally with the ADME or the assistant or associate deputy medical examiner
yes,
to examine the body?
yes.
Can you describe when you observed Ms. Naffziger's body, how she was positioned?
She was sitting on the couch. Her right leg was up on the coffee table, and she had a blanket around her body.
Did you, as well as the assistant deputy medical examiner, observe any injuries to Ms. Naffziger?
We saw wounds that were consistent with a gunshot wound to the head.
Did you observe any weapons near Ms. Naffziger?
No.
Did she have any property near her besides the blanket that you've just described?
She had a cell phone that was next to her on her right side on the couch.
At the time that you entered into the living room with the medical examiner's office, Did you observe any evidence that was consistent with Ms. Naffziger having been shot in addition to her wound that you observed?
Yes, to my right of the couch, I noticed a fired cartridge casing on the floor next to the couch.
Can you tell us what a fired cartridge casing is? Can you explain that?
When a bullet's fired, the casing is what ejects from the pistol.
With respect to the first floor apartment, can you give us sort of an idea of what that apartment itself consisted of in terms of rooms? What was the layout?
Yes, it looked like there was 3 bedrooms, but they were using another room as like a 4th bedroom. 2 rooms were empty, utilized for what appeared to be storage. One of the rooms looked like a little girl's room, and then off of the living room, there was a room that looked like it was utilized as the master bedroom.
Showing you State's Exhibit 22, do you recognize this?
Yes, this is the diagram of Mr. Duren's apartment.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of the layout of the apartment as you observed it?
Yes,
And the locations of where items were inside of the living room?
yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID and admit States 22 as full by agreement.
Yep, no objection.
The ID may be stricken and Exhibit 22 may be considered a full exhibit.
Putting up on the screen State's Exhibit number 22. I don't know if you can do it from there, and I'm going to do what I can to not have you just standing here for the entirety of your testimony. With respect to this exhibit as we look at it, can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where Ms. Naffziger was positioned? If you need to step down, please do.
She was, like I said, on the couch, and she had her right foot elevated on the coffee table.
And when she's sitting on the couch, is she towards the desk on the couch, or is she on the other side of the room in terms of where she is?
More consistent with where you have the casing marked on that side of the couch.
Okay, so I've just put up the red to show where Ms. Naffziger was located. Is that where she was fairly and accurately?
Yes,
Okay. And then if I click again, for the jury to see, there's a casing that's marked there. Is that all consistent with where you observed the body of Ms. Naffziger on the sofa or the couch,
yes,
and then where the casing was observed?
yes.
After the assistant medical examiner examined the body of Ms. Naffziger, what, if anything, occurred?
I believe that we left the body there so that we could farrow with the body in place, just because if I come to a scene and the body has not moved by first responders and it's located in the original spot, I like to document and preserve that. So I believe we farrowed that room and then we removed the body.
Okay. Pharaoh, did you also take photographs?
Yes,
And then the body was removed?
yes,
And was the scene still secured at that point pending the search warrant?
yes. The Berlin Police Department provided scene security that day.
What does it mean to provide or scene security or to secure a scene?
Usually we corded off with crime scene tape, and we'll have at least 1 or 2 cruisers standing by and making sure that no one unauthorized enters through the crime scene.
In fact, prior to having a search warrant, does anyone enter into it except to deal with the body?
No, just with the medical examiner.
Later that afternoon, around 1:40 p.m., did you receive authorization through a search and seizure warrant to enter into the home to conduct your examination of the scene?
Yes,
And at that point, is that when you started the process that you described to us before about photographing in layers?
yes.
I think I'm gonna have to ask you to step down again. State's Exhibit 8C, which is in evidence on the screen, can you describe for us where we are or where this photograph was taken inside of the apartment?
That's as you walk in that entryway door in the rear.
And when you look at this, it's sort of a hallway, is that fair to say?
Yes,
Do you know where the doors on either side of that hallway lead?
those are the spare bedrooms that, like I said, it appeared to be utilized as storage.
And straight ahead,
Straight ahead leads into the kitchen.
if you continue to walk down that hallway and end up in the kitchen, what do you have on your right-hand side?
The right-hand side is the living room and master bedroom area.
And to the left?
That was the little girl's room.
And I want to look first with you, if we can, at State's Exhibit 8D. Which room is this?
This is the spare bedroom to the right when you're walking down that hallway immediately upon entering the apartment.
And is this one of the rooms that you indicated was pretty much used as storage?
Yes.
Okay. Now, zooming in a little bit closer into State's Exhibit 8E, where is evidence recovered or items recovered of interest in this case in the closet?
Yes.
Showing you State's Exhibit 8F. What are we seeing in this image?
ALJ2 looks like a box of ammunition, and ALJ3 looks like a holster, a gun holster.
Can you explain for us, so you're reading the yellow markers, is that fair to say?
Yes.
What do those yellow markers signify?
It's just how we document evidence that we're taking. Whoever's the evidence technician that day, we utilize our initials. I'm Amanda Lee Johnson, so ALJ, and as we go, we assign each piece of evidence a number.
Okay, do the numbers have any meaning about importance or anything like that?
No,
Okay, what do the numbers stand for?
it's just the number of the next item. So from there, the next item would be 4.
I want to go ahead and take a look with you at the items that you're looking at on that top shelf and the items that were marked. Looking first at State's Exhibits 8G and 8H together on this slide. What is ALJ2 that you have marked?
A box of ammunition.
Looking next at State's Exhibit 8I, which is in evidence, and your marker is, I believe, ALJ3. What are we looking at?
That's a shoulder holster with a magazine pouch.
When you say a magazine pouch, can you explain that for us?
You would put the magazines from a pistol in the pouch.
Next, looking on one side at State's Exhibits 8J and 8K, what are we looking at in terms of ALJ3A?
So that's one of the magazines that was in the pouch, and that was the contents in the magazine, the ammunition.
Okay. So it was a loaded magazine.
Yes.
With respect to State's Exhibits 8L and 8M together on this slide, ALJ3B, what are we looking at?
That was the other magazine in the pouch.
Okay, so both 3A and 3B came from the holster that was recovered?
Correct.
And with respect to this, was this also a loaded magazine?
Yes, with those bullets in it.
Were you able to determine the type of ammunition that this was?
Yes, I believe they're all 9mm.
Now, once these items that we've just looked at are recovered and photographed on the scene, are they recovered?
Yes, we photograph them and we package them and secure them on the crime scene truck and later transfer it to the forensic lab.
Can you explain to us how they're packaged, what that process looks like?
We primarily use paper bags, but we put the item in a bag and we secure the bag with evidence tape so that it can't be tampered with and it's secured.
And do you sign those bags?
Yes, we initial along the seams to secure that chain of custody, essentially.
Now, in your search of the apartment, did you locate or recover a pistol or a handgun?
No.
Showing you next State's Exhibit 8N coming back into the hallway of the apartment, can you kind of orient us back to where we are?
Yes, you're standing in the hallway, and the door to the left was the other room, spare room that was utilized for storage.
With respect to the bedroom, which is the storage room, the first open door to the left in this photograph, was anything of evidentiary value marked and collected from there?
I don't recall from that room, no.
How about in the bathroom, the second open door on the left of the photo? Was there anything of evidentiary value marked or recovered?
Not that I recall.
Now I want to move further into the apartment, States Exhibit 8O. Can you orient us sort of here, and I know you've described sort of to the right and the left of the kitchen. Can you just let us know where we're looking here?
Yes, so the opening to the right is towards the living room, and then the left side by the cabinet, there's a door here that belonged to the little girl, bedroom belonging to the little girl.
And the kitchen also continues off to the right, is that, or the left, I'm sorry, is that fair to say?
Yes,
Showing you States Exhibit 8P. What are we looking at here?
that's just the other side of the kitchen.
Did you search the trash can that's over there?
Yes.
Why?
We conduct a complete search when we process a scene to include trash cans.
Was when anything recovered from the trash can?
Yeah, I believe we recovered a receipt from the trash.
Showing you States Exhibit 8Q. Is that the receipt that you're discussing or saying that you recovered?
Yes.
Moving on to States Exhibit 8R. With respect to this item, is that the receipt from the trash can?
Yes, it is.
Just want to ask you if you can read for us the highlighted portions of that.
Yes, it's a receipt from Harley Jack's Burgers and Brews in Ossipee, and it has a date of February 28th, 2024 at 4:46 p.m. The server's name was Christine K. The check number was number 14, and it says that it was ordered February 28th, 2024 at 4:46.
So 4:46 p.m.
Correct.
Moving into States Exhibit 8S Lake Sam. Can you describe where we're looking in this image?
You're standing in the kitchen looking into the living room.
So that doorway that's open there, that's the living room where Ms. Naffziger's body was found, is that fair to
Yes.
say?
Yes.
Now, earlier you had talked about the fact, and we had seen the video that you took of the outside of the house, right? And we watched that small clip. Did you take a similar video of the interior of this apartment?
Yes.
Can you describe for us what you did in taking that video in its entirety?
Like I said, you walk into the apartment and you walk through all the rooms at a slow pace, just trying to document what's in each room.
You open all the drawers, you look inside of everything.
Sometimes, like I said, we do it in layers, so you don't want to disturb too much. Normally, when we first get there, we want to document the scene as it is without manipulating it.
When you took the video of the interior of this house, had Ms. Naffziger's body already been removed?
No. Or it may have been. I know that we farrowed with the body in there. I may have taken the video after the body was removed. I'm not 100% positive on that.
Okay, so I'm going to move forward so that you can see States Exhibit 8T like Tom. At the time that this photo is Ms. Naffziger's body there?
She had been removed at that point.
Okay. Moving forward to States Exhibit 7B, which is a clip from that video that is in evidence. Looking at this image here, was Ms. Naffziger's body present at the time of the video or removed?
She was removed at that time.
Okay, so we should not in this video expect that we will see her.
Correct.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
Well, this clip stops there. Did you also walk into that master bedroom area?
Yes.
Okay, now, looking at this where it's stopped, there appears to be a door that we're seeing, what door is that?
It was almost like they were French doors or double doors that opened into what was utilized as a master bedroom.
And then, hopefully there's a marker on your screen, this white door that's here that I'm marking, what door is that?
That's the front door to the residence.
When you were on scene, what was the condition of that front door?
It was locked with a deadbolt.
Was the doorknob also locked?
I don't recall specifically, I just know that, I remember that it was deadbolted and locked.
I'm going to show you two images. This is 7C and 7D. Those fairly accurately show still images from the video we just watched.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID as to States Exhibit 7C and D and admit them as full.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken and the Exhibit 7C and Exhibit 7D shall be considered as full exhibits.
Putting up on the screen States Exhibit 7C, can you orient us to what we see inside of the living room?
Yeah, so you're standing in the master bedroom and you're looking through the doors into the living room.
And is this the layout of the living room as it was observed on that date?
Like I said, the body had obviously been removed, so things might have been disturbed when we moved the body.
And I know you've described the area and where the body was positioned, if Ms. Naffziger was positioned. Can you give us a general idea of where we would expect to see her were she in this image?
She was positioned, if you see this pink blanket on the couch, that was wrapped around her, and she was seated here with her right leg up on the coffee table, as if she was relaxing on the couch.
The red blanket that's on the floor in States Exhibit 7C by the coffee table, is that where it was originally located?
That may have been displaced during the removal, when we removed the body.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID from States Exhibits. Courts and buildings. 9A through 9J.
No objection.
No objection. The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibits 9A through 9J inclusive, and they may be considered as full exhibits.
Can I have one moment, Your Honor?
Certainly.
Alright. Trooper Johnson, placing onto the screen States Exhibit, well, actually, let me ask you a few questions first. With respect to States Exhibits, or the next photographs, are Ms. Naffziger's body visible in the next couple of images that we're about to show?
Yes.
Can you describe for us when we see her, and I'm happy to have you take a look if you want to describe it from States Exhibits, so you don't have to do it from memory. Can I see my just to direct them.
Yeah.
Can you describe for us what we should expect to see?
Yes, you can see the victim on the couch with the pink blanket on her. That red blanket that is on the floor in 7C was in fact to her left, with her left arm resting on it. And her right leg is elevated and resting on the coffee table.
Placing onto the screen States Exhibit 9A. Does this image represent the positioning of Ms. Naffziger as she was when her body was located?
Yes, that's the original location that we found her in.
And you've already described that the blanket, that the pink blanket is over her shoulder. She has another blanket next to her and her foot on the coffee table.
Yes, and a purple pillow behind it.
From what you observe, is Ms. Naffziger wearing any shoes on her feet?
No,
Were any shoes for an adult located near her in the living room?
I believe they were just children's slippers and children's shoes.
You had described a cell phone wallet case. Can you point that out to us?
Yes.
Behind that cell phone wallet case, what's that on the couch?
A pair of eyeglasses.
Now, behind Ms. Naffziger, almost at, I would say, the center of the photograph, there appears to be a white mark on the shelf of that built-in bookshelf. Can you describe for us what that white mark is?
Let me just make sure I'm pointing to the right thing. This mark right here. That's a built-in wooden shelf, and we located what appeared to be consistent with a defect from.
And when you say a defect, what do you mean?
That's just the terminology that we use for lack of better terms, entryway of a bullet.
And moving closer, and State's Exhibit 9B, we also have the imagery of Ms. Naffziger on the scene. From this angle, can you still see where that bullet defect is?
Yes, it's right here.
And just one more, State's Exhibit 9C, moving in closer to Ms. Naffziger. Can you please describe for us what we see here?
What is consistent with a gunshot wound to the head.
And Ms. Naffziger's clothing, first of all, that pink blanket is no longer over her shoulder. Was that moved by officers during the scene?
Yes, we moved on to like the next layer of documenting, and we would move the blanket off of her to photograph.
And once the blanket was removed, what is Ms. Naffziger wearing for clothing?
She looks like she has a black sweater on, a purple shirt, and it looks like a scarf around her neck.
State's Exhibit 9D, what are we looking at here?
That's a photo of the couch after we removed the body of the victim.
Now, with respect to the glasses that were on the sofa, on the couch, what happened to those, if you know?
I believe that we collected those as evidence.
Okay. Would they have been transported with the body?
I can't recall specifically if we made them a separate exhibit or put the glasses in the bag with the body. I can't recall specifically, but I know we collected them.
Moving to State's Exhibit 9E, we've got a yellow marker here. Can you explain for us what we're looking at?
That's the evidence marker to mark the cell phone that's on the couch.
And you've done close-ups and overalls of all of these pieces of evidence. Is that fair to say?
I didn't personally take the photos, I don't believe, but yes, we documented close-ups.
So moving into State's Exhibits 9F and 9G, what are we looking at?
It's a cell phone that's contained within a wallet case.
Were the contents of that wallet case used to identify Ms. Naffziger on scene?
Yes,
And what was used specifically?
driver's license.
I want to back up so that we can take a look at the couch as a whole. Looking at State's Exhibit 9H, is this just a full view of the couch or the sofa as it was inside of the living room?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we watched that video walkthrough that you did, State's Exhibit 7B, you sort of got very close to the sofa. Is there a reason why you did that?
Just documenting close-up shots of the evidence.
Was there anything on the sofa itself that you were documenting specifically?
I recall doing close-ups on the left side of the couch, around here, that I located a couple of pieces, what appeared to be consistent with the skull.
So moving to State's Exhibit 7D, there are 2 items circled there. Can you explain for us what we're seeing?
That's what I noticed, and it consistent with skull.
Okay, so consistent with bone pieces?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oops, I apologize. Looking at State's Exhibit 9, I believe we're back on I. Does this image accurately show the placement of the coffee table as it was in line with the sofa?
Yes,
And this is obviously after Ms. Naffziger's been removed.
yes,
And that red blanket is positioned there from its original position, correct?
yeah, it's displaced from its original position.
Now, you had discussed that when you looked at this living room, when you entered into it initially, and then when you were conducting your search for evidence, that you had observed casing inside of this location.
Yes,
Can you orient us to where we would be looking if we wanted to find where that casing was?
yes, the casing was behind this chair on the floor, so that's the right side of the couch.
Now, I want to take a look at the rest of the living room. So this photograph states Exhibit 9J. Does that accurately show the living room as it would be viewed from the sofa or the couch?
Yes, it does.
In terms of this desk, what kinds of items were associated with the desk?
It appeared to be a computer desk, but we noted that the tower, the actual computer itself, was missing and unplugged.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to strike the ID from State's Exhibits 10A through 10D and have them admitted as evidence.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to 10A through 10D inclusive, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Trooper Johnson, I want to go back to that little chair where you said there was a casing. So looking at State's Exhibit 10A, which should be on the screen now, can you sort of orient us to where the casing was found?
The casing's on the floor behind the child's, looks like a unicorn, on the chair, right behind here.
And if I look at this image, there's a door frame that's right here where I'm illuminating in the corner of the photo. Where does that door go?
That goes to the kitchen.
And in terms of any other access point to leave this living room, where would those be located?
You could go forward, straight ahead to the master bedroom, and the front door is there.
Okay, so if I'm standing like the photo is taken, where would the doors to the master bedroom be?
To your back, behind you.
Okay, and the front entrance of the home would also be to my back and behind me?
Correct.
Okay, and the kitchen would be through this doorway here that I have marked to the right?
Correct, to the right.
You had indicated earlier that the shoes you remembered seeing were slippers for kids. Do you see those in this image?
Yes, they're under the pink table.
Showing you next, State's Exhibit 10B. I think it's a little fuzzy there in the background, but can you identify what this marker, the yellow marker is that I've got illuminated?
Yeah, the ALJ5 marker is next to the casing.
Moving it a little bit closer on that, State's Exhibit 10C. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That's the fired cartridge casing.
And State's Exhibit 10D.
That's the casing just flipped over to read the head stamp.
What's a head stamp?
The writing on the back of the casing.
And what does that tell you?
It usually tells you a brand and caliber.
Were you able to determine the brand or the caliber from this?
It was a 9mm, and I believe it says S&B on the casing.
Is that consistent with other ammunition that was found inside of the house?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you a break and do this afterwards, okay, so you can have a seat. No, not yet, sorry, I apologize. I misspoke. We're gonna do a couple more. 11A through and including 11O and have them marked as full.
No objection.
The identification may be stricken with respect to 11A through 11O inclusive, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Now, after the casing was recovered, you had started to indicate about that bullet defect that was in the built-in bookshelf.
Yes,
With respect to that bullet defect, was a bullet eventually recovered?
yes, we recovered a projectile.
Okay. So a projectile, not a bullet. I apologize.
It's okay, same thing.
Can you explain the difference?
It's just the technical term for it that we utilize.
I want to go ahead and move into State's Exhibits 11A and 11B here. Can you describe for us, so 11A, fair to say, is the sofa as it was after Ms. Naffziger, as well as all the blankets and everything else were removed?
Correct, yes.
With respect to State's Exhibit 11B, can you explain to us what that yellow marker is for?
I'd have to look at my actual evidence report. I'm not sure if that is a swab or if it's a piece of skull or hair. I'd have to refresh my memory with the DSSP 20.
Would looking at the report refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Showing you, Trooper Johnson, what I've marked for identification purposes only at State's Exhibit number 30, dates 106 to 108 for the record. Can you take a look at that item? Is
Yes.
that the copy of the report that you just referenced, your DSSP?
This isn't the DSSP 20, but it is part of my evidence signification report. It lists,
If you can take a look and see if that would refresh your recollection.
yes, it does.
Okay. Based on this, your review of the report, what is that marker for?
That is for swabs of the reddish-brown stain on the couch.
Thank you. If you want to just put that right there. Moving next to State's Exhibit 11C, can you describe to us, and specifically, I want to ask you about this area of the sofa, and I'm not sure now my device isn't. I can just have one moment. So looking at State's Exhibit 11C, specifically I want to draw your attention to that white mark, the damage to the drawer. You've described that as a bullet entry.
Yes.
Okay. What else in this image, did you recover anything else from this area of the built-in bookshelf?
To the left of the defect by the knob, there's a clump of hair.
Moving a little bit closer into that 11D, there's a marker ALJ7. Is that referencing the hair that you're describing?
Yes.
Okay. Gonna look a little bit closer. I think that's a little hard to see. So if we can move into State's Exhibit 11F, like Frank, what are we looking at here?
That's a close-up of the hair around the built-in.
And that hair was recovered?
Yes.
Moving to State's Exhibit 11G, can you describe for us the changes that we're seeing to sort of the room and what process is happening here?
So, like I said before, we conduct searches in layers, so at this particular point in the documentation, we slid the couch out from the built-in, so we had access to be able to see behind the couch.
And once you had access to see behind the couch, what, if anything, did you do?
We were then able to open the drawers of the built-in.
Now, moving into State's Exhibits 11H and 11I, can you explain to us or describe to us what these white stickers represent?
They're just scale, like L-shaped stickers with scales that we utilize to mark defects.
And with respect to this defect, it looks like there's an A written on that scale.
Yes, that indicates that's the first defect that I'm noting.
Are there multiple defects associated with this recovered bullet or
Yes.
projectile?
Yes.
Moving to State's Exhibit 11J, what do we see here?
That's just the first drawer. Pulled out a photo of it.
And that's the drawer that the first defect was in?
Correct, defect A.
Was the bullet recovered from this top drawer?
No.
Where was it recovered?
I believe it was the third drawer down.
So were there additional defects that you were able to identify and mark?
Yes.
Looking at State's Exhibit 11K, can you explain to us what we're looking at?
Yes, so that's a photo of inside the drawer. So A1 would be the exit from the front of the drawer, and then 2A is a re-entry of the bullet as its flight path continues.
And then using this next one, State's Exhibit 11L, what is this?
That is another defect, A3.
So A3 is a third bullet defect associated with the same bullet or projectile? Sorry.
Yes.
And where in relation to the first drawer, if you know, is A3?
I'm not actually sure, based on this photo, if this is the second, it should be the second drawer, but I'm not positive with just this photo.
But the bullet was, or the projectile, I apologize, was recovered in the third drawer down.
As I recall, yes.
Showing you State's Exhibit 11M, what are we seeing here?
That's a photo of the third drawer opened with what is the projectile in the drawer.
Once this item was photographed, what, if anything, did you do to recover it?
We packaged it and secured it and transported it to the forensic lab.
And just moving it a little bit closer so we can see what that item clearly was, 11N. Can you describe for us the projectile?
It's a projectile.
And that's as it was recovered inside of the drawer,
Yes,
marked as ALJ 8.
correct.
Thank you. Trooper Johnson, you can go ahead and have a seat. We could go ahead and give you a minute. I had you standing
okay.
up there for a little while.
I'm getting a little raspy.
All right. Trooper Johnson, you had indicated that, and I'll try to be loud from over here, you had indicated that you had recovered the casing and recovered the projectile, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you describe for us the process of that recovery?
We photograph it and collect it and put it in the appropriate evidence receptacle, I guess, based on size and what it is.
And I'm going to ask you, I've provided some gloves in case you do need them, but I'm going to ask you to take a look at what I have marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 28. Can you take a look at that item and let me know if you know what it is?
I believe that this belongs to the casing.
Okay. Does that have a number on it consistent with the recovered item number?
I'd have to look at my report, but it says ALJ 5 on it.
Showing you again what's marked for identification only as State's Exhibit number 30. Would this assist you in identifying what that item is?
Yes. ALJ 5 is a casing S&B 9x19 21.
Was that the casing that was recovered from the floor in the first floor apartment next to the sofa?
Yes, it was.
Okay, the one behind the unicorn chair?
Yes.
Okay. If I could ask you to go ahead and take a look, open that envelope up for us.
casing.
In taking a look at that item, does it appear to be in the same or substantially the same condition as it was in when you recovered it?
Yes.
Mayor, at this time, state requests that the ID be struck and states Exhibit 28 be admitted.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 28, and should be considered a full exhibit.
Put it back in there.
I'm gonna ask you to publish it in just a bit, but I figure we'll go with both items if that's okay.
Mhm.
Gonna go ahead next and show you what I've marked for identification purposes as states Exhibit 29 for this case. And looking at that item, do you recognize what it is?
Yes, this should be the projectile.
Okay, does that match in terms of the documentation on the envelope, your signature on the seal, and the assigned evidence number?
Yes.
I'd ask you to go ahead and open that up. Can you even see the item that's inside of that container?
Yes, I can.
Okay, in looking at it, is that, what is it?
That's the projectile recovered from the drawer.
And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as it was in when it was recovered by you?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would request to strike the ID from state's Exhibit 29 and have the item admitted as full.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 29, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
And with the court's permission, I would ask Trooper Johnson to step down and allow the jury to observe the items.
Certainly.
Trooper Johnson, you may have to walk up and down, since they're such small items, if you could just walk up and down, allowing the jurors to see those items. Thank you.
This is ALJ 5, which is the casing that was recovered. There's books in the back, were you able to see?
I apologize.
Well, container.
Absolutely. If you can show them the next item, states 29.
This is ALJ 8, which is the projectile that was recovered in the drawer. We typically put them in these containers with gauze just to protect. Does anyone in the back row wanna closer?
Yeah, that's one request if we take out this list and put that back in here. I have no further questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Kenny? Attorney
Good
Kenny,
afternoon, Trooper Johnson.
Good
Attorney Kenny,
afternoon.
Oh, sorry.
approach.
Yes.
Sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This incident that occurred
No,
So you did not see what happened,
correct,
correct? You didn't see what Caitlyn was doing, right?
correct,
You didn't see what a child was doing, right?
correct,
You didn't see what Lieutenant Dustin was doing.
correct,
You didn't hear what Caitlyn said, right?
correct,
You didn't hear what Dustin said, correct?
yes,
You don't have any idea what actually happened that night.
correct.
No more questions, thank you.
You
No
redirect?
questions.
Okay. Can Trooper Johnson be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And again, please.